Welcome to my channel. Have you ever walked away from a conversation and thought, why did I say that? Why did I react like that? Maybe one angry word ruined your whole day, one message stole your peace, or one person's behavior controlled your emotions. But what if your greatest power is not speaking louder, but staying calm? Today, you'll discover why people who master the art of not reacting become mentally stronger, more respected, and more successful. Stay until the end, because the final lesson may completely change the way you deal with difficult people forever. Lesson 1. Why we react so fast. Have you ever noticed something strange about yourself? Someone says one rude word and your whole mood changes. Someone ignores your message and you cannot stop thinking about it. Someone laughs at you and suddenly your heart starts beating faster. You want to answer back. You want to prove yourself. You want to show them they are wrong. Then later, when everything becomes quiet, you sit alone and think, why did I react like that? If this has happened to you, you are not alone. Almost every person has felt this at some point. The good news is that there is nothing wrong with you. The better news is that you can learn to control it. And once you learn this skill, your life can become much more peaceful. Today is the first step toward that change. The truth is simple. Most people think they are making their own choices, but many times, their emotions are making the choices for them. One angry comment can control their whole day. One small problem can destroy their happiness. One person's opinion can steal their confidence. Think about that for a moment. If someone else can change your mood so easily, who is really in control? You or them? This is a question that many people never ask themselves. They keep reacting again and again without realizing they are giving away their power. Our brain works in a very interesting way. Long ago, human beings had to survive in dangerous places. They had to protect themselves from wild animals and real dangers every day. So the brain learned to react very fast. This helped people stay alive. But today, things are different. Most of us are not running away from wild animals. Still, our brain reacts in almost the same way when someone criticizes us, insults us, or rejects us. It feels like danger even when there is no real danger. Your heart beats faster, your face becomes warm, your mind starts racing. Before you even think clearly, you have already reacted. Maybe someone writes a negative comment on your social media post. Maybe your teacher says your work needs improvement. Maybe your boss tells you that you made a mistake. Maybe your family member says something that hurts your feelings. In that moment, your first thought is often emotional, not logical. You want to defend yourself. You want to explain everything. You want to fight back. But later, after your emotions become calm, you often wish you had handled the situation differently. This happens because emotions move faster than logic. Now imagine something different. Imagine someone says something rude to you, but instead of answering immediately, you stay calm. You take a deep breath, you smile a little, you think before you speak. Suddenly the situation changes. You are no longer a prisoner of your emotions. You are the person in control. That small moment can completely change the result. It can save a friendship. It can protect your peace. It can stop an argument before it even begins. It may look like a small change, but it has a huge impact on your life. Many people believe that reacting quickly shows confidence. They think speaking loudly means they are strong. They think winning every argument makes them powerful. But real strength looks very different. Real strength is staying calm when everyone expects you to become angry. Real strength is choosing peace when your emotions are asking for a fight. Real strength is controlling yourself instead of trying to control other people. This is not easy, but it is one of the most valuable skills you can ever learn. Think about the people you admire the most. They may be successful leaders, athletes, teachers, or someone in your own family. What makes them special? In many cases, it is not their money or talent. It is their ability to stay calm under pressure. When everyone else is panicking, they remain focused. When everyone else is shouting, they speak quietly. They understand something that many people do not. They know that every reaction has a price. Angry words can damage relationships. Emotional decisions can create lifelong regret. A few seconds of losing control can create problems that last for years. Here is something that many people never realize. Every time someone can make you angry whenever they want, they are controlling you. They do not need to touch you. They do not need to force you. They only need to say a few words, and suddenly your emotions are dancing to their tune. That is not freedom. Real freedom begins when other people's words no longer decide how you feel. Imagine how peaceful your life would become if rude people could not steal your happiness. Imagine how much energy you would save if you stopped worrying about every opinion. That kind of peace is possible, but it starts with understanding why you react in the first place. There is another reason why we react so quickly. We all want to be accepted. We want people to respect us. We want to feel important. So when someone disagrees with us or criticizes us, it feels personal. We think they are attacking who we are, but many times they are only sharing their opinion. And remember this, an opinion is not always the truth. Just because someone says something about you does not make it real. If you believe every negative word you hear, you will spend your whole life trying to please people who can never be pleased. The happiest people are not the ones who never face problems. They are the ones who learn how to protect their peace. They understand that not every comment deserves a reply. Not every argument deserves their time. Not every opinion deserves their attention. They choose carefully where to spend their energy. That is why they stay calm while others become stressed. They have learned that peace is more valuable than proving a point. This lesson is not about becoming silent forever. It is not about allowing people to disrespect you. It is about learning the difference between reacting with emotion and responding with wisdom. There are times when you should speak. There are times when you should stand up for yourself. But there are also many moments when staying calm is the smartest choice. Knowing the difference is what makes a person emotionally strong. As we continue this journey together, you will discover that the power of not reacting is not magic. It is a skill, and like every skill, it can be learned with practice. Every calm decision makes you stronger. Every thoughtful response builds your confidence. Every moment you refuse to let anger control you, you take back a little more of your power. In the next lesson, we will look deeper into the mind and discover what really happens inside us before we react. Once you understand that simple secret, you will start seeing your emotions in a completely new way. Lesson 2. The psychology behind emotional control. In the last lesson, we learned that most people react before they even have time to think. Now let us go one step deeper. Have you ever asked yourself why two people can face the same situation, but react in completely different ways? Imagine two friends lose their jobs on the same day. One becomes angry and blames everyone. The other stays calm, starts looking for new opportunities, and keeps believing in the future. The problem is the same, but their reactions are different. So what makes the difference? The answer is emotional control. It is not about having fewer problems. It is about learning how to handle them. Many people think emotional control means hiding your feelings. That is not true. Emotional control does not mean you stop feeling sad, angry, or disappointed. You are human. You will always have emotions. The real goal is not to stop your emotions. The goal is to stop your emotions from controlling your actions. There is a big difference between feeling angry and acting angry. There is a big difference between feeling hurt and saying something you will regret later. The strongest people are not people without emotions. They are people who know how to guide their emotions instead of following them. Think about driving a car. The car has a powerful engine. That engine helps you move forward. But imagine a car with no steering wheel. It would be dangerous because the power has no direction. Your emotions are like that engine. They give you energy. They help you care about people. They help you protect yourself. But if you do not learn how to guide them, they can take you in the wrong direction. One moment of anger can destroy years of trust. One emotional decision can create a problem that could have been avoided. There is one small habit that can completely change your life. It is called the pause. It sounds so simple that many people ignore it. But this tiny pause has incredible power. When something upsets you, do not answer right away. Do not send that message. Do not shout back. Do not make a quick decision. Just pause for a few seconds. During those few seconds, your mind begins to slow down. Your emotions become a little quieter. Your logical thinking starts to wake up. Those few seconds may seem small, but they can protect your relationships, your career, and your peace of mind. Think about a time when you sent an angry message. Maybe you were upset, so you typed everything you were feeling and pressed send. At first it felt good, but after a few minutes you wished you could take it back. Now imagine you had waited just 10 minutes before sending that message. There is a good chance you would have changed some words or maybe decided not to send it at all. That is the power of the pause. It gives wisdom a chance to speak before emotion takes over. Psychologists often say that there is a space between what happens to us and how we respond. In that small space, we make our choices. Most people never notice that space because they react too fast. They believe they have no choice. But the truth is that every calm person has learned to use that space wisely. They know they cannot control what happens around them. They can only control what happens inside them. Look at successful people in any field. Watch great athletes during an important game. Watch experienced leaders during a difficult meeting. Watch skilled doctors during an emergency. They stay calm because panic does not solve problems. They understand that clear thinking always works better than emotional thinking. This does not mean they never feel pressure. Of course they do, but they have trained themselves to stay focused even when emotions are strong. Here's something interesting. Every time you stay calm instead of reacting, you are training your brain. It is just like exercising your body. The first workout feels hard. Your muscles become tired. But if you keep practicing, your body becomes stronger. Your mind works the same way. The first time you stop yourself from reacting, it may feel difficult. The second time becomes a little easier. After many days of practice, staying calm becomes a natural habit. You become emotionally stronger without even realizing it. Many people believe they were simply born with a short temper. They say, "This is just who I am," but that is not the whole story. Yes, everyone has a different personality, but emotional control is a skill, not a gift. Skills can be learned. Think about riding a bicycle. At first it feels impossible. You fall again and again. But with practice it becomes easy. Emotional control works in the same way. You may fail sometimes. You may still react. That is okay. Every mistake is another chance to learn. Another important thing to remember is that emotions are temporary. No feeling stays forever. Think about the last time you were very angry. At that moment, it felt like the anger would never end. But where is that anger now? It passed. The same thing happens with sadness, fear, and disappointment. They all come and go like clouds in the sky. But the decisions you make during those emotional moments can stay with you for years. That is why waiting before reacting is so powerful. Your emotions will change. Your words cannot always be taken back. Sometimes life will test you. Someone may insult you. Someone may disappoint you. Someone may treat you unfairly. In those moments, your first reaction will always try to pull you toward anger or frustration. But remember this, just because you feel something does not mean you have to act on it. Feelings are visitors. They knock on the door of your mind. You can listen to them without allowing them to take control of your house. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that other people's behavior cannot steal your happiness. Imagine walking into work, school, or any place with quiet confidence because you know your peace belongs to you. That kind of confidence does not come from money or success. It comes from self-control. It comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you will choose your response instead of letting your emotions choose it for you. This journey is not about becoming perfect. Even the calmest people have bad days. They also get hurt. They also feel angry. The difference is that they recover faster. They do not let one bad moment become a bad day. They do not let one bad day become a bad life. They keep moving forward because they know that every challenge is another chance to grow stronger. As you finish this lesson, remember one simple truth. Your emotions are real, but they do not have to become your master. Every time you pause before reacting, you are building a stronger mind. Every time you choose patience over anger, you are becoming the person you want to be. This is not weakness. This is real strength. And in the next lesson, you will discover why silence can sometimes be more powerful than the smartest argument. That lesson may completely change the way you deal with difficult people for the rest of your life. Lesson 3. Why silence is more powerful than winning an argument. Have you ever argued with someone for a long time and then realized that nothing actually changed? You explained your point again and again. They explained theirs. Both of you spoke louder. Both of you wanted to win. But at the end, nobody felt happy. Instead, both people felt tired, angry, and frustrated. If you have ever experienced this, you already know an important truth. Winning an argument does not always improve your life. Sometimes it only gives you stress. Sometimes the greatest victory is not saying the perfect words. Sometimes the greatest victory is knowing when to stay silent. Many people believe they must answer every rude comment. They think they have to defend themselves every single time. If someone insults them, they feel they must insult them back. If someone judges them, they feel they must prove that person wrong. It feels natural. It feels like the right thing to do. But ask yourself one simple question. After all those arguments, how many people actually changed their minds? The answer is probably very few. Most arguments do not change people. They only make both sides more stubborn. Think about social media for a moment. Every day, millions of people argue with strangers. They spend hours writing long comments. They become angry over people they have never met. They lose their peace because of someone who may not even remember the conversation tomorrow. Now ask yourself another question. Was it really worth it? Did that argument make your life better? Did it help you become happier? In most cases, the answer is no. This is why silence is so powerful. Silence gives you something that arguments often take away. It gives you peace. When you choose not to react to every negative word, you protect your energy. You protect your happiness. You protect your focus. That does not mean you are weak. In fact, it often means you are much stronger than the person who cannot control their emotions. Imagine someone throws a small stone into a calm lake. The water moves for a moment, but then it becomes peaceful again. Now imagine another lake where every small stone creates huge waves because the water is already wild. Which lake would you rather be? A calm mind is like that peaceful lake. People may throw words at you. They may criticize you. They may try to upset you. But if your mind stays calm, their words lose their power. Many people confuse silence with fear. They think if you stay quiet, you have lost. But that is not true. There is a big difference between being silent because you are afraid and being silent because you are wise. Wise silence is a choice. It is saying to yourself, this argument is not worth my peace. It is understanding that your time and energy are valuable. You do not have to spend them trying to convince people who have already decided not to listen. Think about the most confident person you know. Do they argue with everyone? Do they feel the need to prove themselves all the time? Probably not. Truly confident people do not chase every argument because they already know who they are. They do not need everyone to agree with them. They do not need everyone to like them. Their confidence comes from inside, not from other people's opinions. Here is something many people never notice. Some people are waiting for your reaction. They say something rude because they want you to become angry. They enjoy watching you lose control. The moment you react, they feel like they have won. But when you stay calm, something unexpected happens. They do not know what to do. They were expecting anger. They were expecting a fight. Instead, they meet silence. That silence becomes your greatest strength because it shows that they cannot control you. This does not mean you should never speak. There are times when you must stand up for yourself. There are times when you must speak the truth. There are times when silence would allow something wrong to continue. But there is a difference between speaking with wisdom and speaking with anger. When your emotions control your words, you often regret them later. When wisdom controls your words, you speak clearly, calmly, and with confidence. Think about a fire. If nobody adds more wood, the fire slowly dies. But if people keep adding wood, it grows bigger and bigger. Arguments work in the same way. Every angry word is like another piece of wood on the fire. Every insult makes the situation worse. Sometimes the fastest way to end the fire is to stop feeding it. Your silence removes the fuel. Without fuel, the argument loses its power. There is another reason why silence is important. It gives you time to think. When someone says something hurtful, your first feeling may tell you to answer immediately, but after a few minutes, you may realize they were having a bad day. You may realize they misunderstood you. You may even realize that their words do not matter as much as you first believed. Silence creates space for understanding. It helps you see the bigger picture instead of only the painful moment. Life becomes much easier when you stop trying to win every battle. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every insult deserves your response. Not every person deserves your energy. The more you understand this, the more peaceful your life becomes. You begin to choose your battles carefully. You save your strength for the things that truly matter. Your goals become more important than your pride. Remember this simple truth. People will always have opinions about you. Some will like you, some will not. Some will support you, some will criticize you. You cannot control that. If you spend your whole life trying to answer every negative voice, you will never have enough time to build the life you really want. Your future is created by your actions, not by winning arguments with people who refuse to understand you. One day, you will look back and realize that many of the arguments that once felt so important were actually very small. You will wonder why you gave them so much of your time and your peace. That is why learning the power of silence today is such an important step. Every time you choose peace instead of pointless conflict, you become stronger. Every time you walk away from an unnecessary argument, you protect your happiness. Every time you stay calm while others lose control, you show real confidence. As you continue this journey, remember that silence is not about giving up. It is about growing up. It is about understanding that your peace is too valuable to be traded for a few angry words. And now there is one more important truth you need to discover. Some people do not just enjoy arguments, they actually depend on your emotional reactions. In the next lesson, you will learn why toxic people want you to react and how staying calm takes away the power they thought they had over you. Lesson 4. Why toxic people want you to react. Now, let us talk about something that almost everyone experiences, but very few people truly understand. Have you ever met someone who always seems to create problems? No matter what you do, they find something to criticize. They complain about your choices. They make fun of your dreams. They say things that hurt you and then act like it was only a joke. Maybe it is someone at school. Maybe it is a person at work. Maybe it is even someone in your own family. After spending just a few minutes with them, you feel tired and upset. If this sounds familiar, then this lesson is for you. The first thing you need to understand is that not everyone wants peace. Some people enjoy drama. They enjoy arguments. They enjoy making other people emotional. It may sound strange, but it happens every single day. When they see you become angry, they feel powerful. When they see you lose your temper, they believe they have won. That is why they keep doing the same thing again and again. They are looking for a reaction. Think about a person who keeps pressing the same button because they know it will make a machine work. Some toxic people do the same thing with emotions. They learn what makes you angry. They learn what hurts your feelings. Then they keep pressing those emotional buttons because they know you will react. Every time you become upset, you are showing them that they have found your weakness. But imagine what happens when they press that button and nothing happens. Suddenly they lose their power. Suddenly their game no longer works. This is why staying calm is so important. Your calmness is not just protecting your peace, it is also protecting your freedom. The moment you stop giving people the reaction they want, they begin to lose control over you. They may try harder at first. They may say even more hurtful things. They may become louder because they are surprised that their old tricks are no longer working. But if you stay patient, they often become frustrated because they cannot control your emotions anymore. There is something very important you should always remember. Hurt people often hurt other people. This does not excuse bad behavior, but it helps us understand it. Many people who spread negativity are carrying pain inside themselves. Maybe they were never appreciated. Maybe they are unhappy with their own lives. Maybe they are jealous because they see you growing while they are standing still. Instead of improving themselves, they try to pull other people down. They believe that if they cannot be happy, nobody else should be happy either. Imagine you're walking down the street, carrying a clean glass of water. Suddenly, someone throws mud at you. You now have two choices. You can throw mud back and become just as dirty, or you can keep walking with your clean water. Which choice helps your future? Which choice protects your peace? The answer is clear. Throwing mud back may feel satisfying for a few seconds, but it does not solve anything. It only creates more dirt. Life works the same way. Responding with anger usually creates more anger. Many people waste years trying to change toxic people. They keep explaining. They keep hoping the other person will suddenly understand. They keep believing that one more conversation will fix everything. Sometimes that happens, but many times it does not. You cannot force someone to become kind. You cannot force someone to respect you. You cannot force someone to change if they do not want to change. The only person you truly control is yourself. Once you understand this, life becomes much less stressful. There is another mistake many people make. They think every insult deserves an answer. They believe silence means losing. But think about this. If a stranger walks up to you and says the sky is green, would you spend the next 2 hours arguing with them? Of course not. You would probably smile and continue your day. Why? Because you know the truth does not change just because someone says something different. The same idea applies to your life. If someone says something false about you, it does not suddenly become true. You do not have to fight every opinion that comes your way. Strong people understand something that weak people often forget. Your value does not come from other people's words. Your value comes from who you are. If you know your character is good, you do not need to spend your whole life defending it. Let your actions speak louder than your arguments. People may doubt your words, but over time, they cannot ignore your actions. Now think about the nights you have lost because of one negative conversation. Maybe you kept replaying every word in your mind. Maybe you imagined better answers after the argument was already over. Maybe you could not sleep because you were so upset. While you were losing your peace, the other person may have already forgotten the whole situation. That is a painful truth. Sometimes we carry emotional pain much longer than the people who caused it. This is why learning not to react is such an important gift. It protects not only your day but also your mind. Peace is something you must protect every single day. Do not hand it over so easily. Do not allow every rude person to decide how you will feel. Not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Not everyone deserves your attention. Some people only enter your life to distract you from your goals. Every minute you spend arguing with them is 1 minute you are not building your future. Imagine two roads in front of you. One road is full of anger, arguments, stress, and regret. The other road is full of patience, confidence, peace, and growth. Every time someone tries to provoke you, you are standing between these two roads. Your reaction decides which road you take. The choice is always yours, even when it does not feel that way. This does not mean you become silent forever or allow people to disrespect you. Sometimes the strongest response is to walk away. Sometimes it is to set clear boundaries. Sometimes it is to calmly say no and refuse to continue the conversation. You can be kind without allowing people to treat you badly. You can be peaceful without becoming weak. In fact, setting healthy boundaries is one of the greatest signs of self-respect. As you grow, you will notice something interesting. The people who truly care about you will respect your calmness. The people who only wanted your reaction may slowly disappear from your life because they can no longer control you. That is not a loss. It is a gain. It creates space for healthier relationships and a happier future. In the next lesson, we will move from understanding to action. You now know why some people want you to react. But knowing is only the beginning. The real question is this: how can you train yourself to stay calm in everyday life? In the next lesson, you will learn simple daily habits that can make you emotionally stronger, more confident, and much harder to break, no matter what life throws at you. Lesson 5. 5 daily habits that make you emotionally unbreakable. So far, you have learned why people react so quickly, how emotions take control, why silence is powerful, and why some people try to make you lose your peace. But now comes the most important part. Knowledge is useful only when you use it. You can watch hundreds of motivational videos, read many books, and listen to great advice. But if you do not practice what you learn, your life will stay the same. Real change begins with small daily habits. These habits may look simple, but if you practice them every day, they can completely change the way you handle difficult situations. The first habit is very simple. Breathe before you speak. It sounds almost too easy, but it works. Whenever someone says something that makes you angry, do not answer right away. Take one slow, deep breath, then take another, then one more. During those few seconds, your mind becomes calmer. Your heart slows down. Your emotions lose some of their power. Many arguments happen because people speak before they think. A few deep breaths can stop words that you may regret for years. Never underestimate the power of something so simple. Sometimes the smallest habit creates the biggest change. The second habit is to stop answering emotional messages immediately. We live in a world where everyone wants instant replies. Someone sends an angry message and we feel pressure to answer right away. But that is often the worst thing to do. When emotions are high, clear thinking becomes weak. If you're upset, put your phone down for a while. Go for a short walk, drink some water, listen to calm music. Come back when your mind feels peaceful. You may be surprised to find that your reply becomes shorter, kinder, and much wiser. Many problems disappear simply because you gave yourself time to think. The third habit is asking yourself one powerful question. Will this matter 1 year from now? Think about it. Last year, you probably worried about many things that you cannot even remember today. Many of the problems that once felt huge became very small with time. The next time someone says something rude or something goes wrong, ask yourself this question. Will this still be important 1 year from now? Most of the time, the answer will be no. That simple question helps you see the bigger picture. It reminds you that not every problem deserves your energy. The fourth habit is learning to watch your emotions instead of becoming your emotions. Imagine you're standing beside a river. The water keeps flowing. You do not jump into every wave. You simply watch it pass by. Your emotions are like that river. Anger comes, sadness comes, fear comes, happiness comes. They all keep moving. You do not have to follow every feeling that appears in your mind. Instead of saying, I am angry, try thinking, I feel angry right now. Those two sentences sound similar, but they are very different. The first one makes anger your identity. The second one reminds you that anger is only a temporary feeling. Feelings change. They always do. The fifth habit is choosing your battles wisely. This may be one of the hardest lessons in life. You do not have to fight every battle. You do not have to answer every negative comment. You do not have to prove yourself to every person who doubts you. Some battles are simply not worth your time. Imagine carrying a heavy bag every day. Now imagine someone keeps putting small stones into that bag. One stone may not feel heavy, but after many stones, the bag becomes almost impossible to carry. Every unnecessary argument is another stone. Every pointless fight adds more weight. If you want a peaceful life, you must learn to leave those stones behind. These habits may sound easy while you are listening to this video, but the real test comes when life becomes difficult. Someone may insult you tomorrow. Someone may disappoint you next week. Someone may treat you unfairly next month. Those moments are your training ground. That is where emotional strength is built. It is not built on peaceful days. It is built on challenging days when you choose wisdom instead of anger. Do not expect yourself to become perfect overnight. You will still make mistakes. There will be days when you react too quickly. There will be moments when you lose your patience. That does not mean you have failed. It simply means you are learning. Every successful person has failed many times before they improved. Emotional strength grows in exactly the same way. The important thing is not being perfect. The important thing is getting a little better every day. Think about a person who goes to the gym. They do not become strong after one workout. They become strong because they keep showing up. Some days are easy, some days are hard, but they continue. Your mind needs the same kind of training. Every time you pause before reacting, you're doing another workout for your emotions. Every time you choose peace instead of anger, your emotional muscles become stronger. One day you will notice that situations which once made you angry no longer have the same effect on you. That is when you will realize how much you have grown. There is another habit that quietly grows along with these 5 habits. It is gratitude. When you focus only on what is wrong, every small problem feels bigger. But when you spend a few minutes every day thinking about what is good in your life, your mind becomes stronger. You begin to see opportunities instead of only obstacles. You become less interested in proving yourself and more interested in improving yourself. A grateful mind is much harder to disturb because it already has something valuable to protect. Remember that your goal is not to impress other people. Your goal is to become a better version of yourself. You are not practicing these habits so people will call you calm or mature. You are practicing them because you deserve peace. You deserve to wake up without carrying yesterday's anger. You deserve to sleep without replaying old arguments in your mind. You deserve a life where your emotions help you instead of controlling you. Imagine yourself 1 year from today. Someone says something rude, but you smile and stay calm. A problem appears, but instead of panicking, you think clearly. A difficult situation comes into your life, but you face it with confidence instead of fear. That future is not impossible. It begins with the small choices you make today. Great change is always built through small daily actions. As you continue this journey, never forget that emotional strength is not something people are born with. It is something they build, one decision at a time. Every calm response is another brick. Every patient choice makes your foundation stronger. Slowly, you become the kind of person who cannot be easily shaken by the opinions or actions of others. In the next lesson, we will talk about one of the biggest reasons people lose their peace. It is criticism. Almost everyone fears being judged by others. But what if criticism could actually become one of your greatest teachers instead of your biggest enemy? In the next lesson, you will learn how to stay calm when people judge you, criticize you, or try to make you doubt yourself. That lesson can completely change the way you see other people's opinions for the rest of your life. Lesson 6. How to stay calm when people judge or criticize you. Let us be honest. Almost everyone wants to be liked. We want people to respect us. We want our family to feel proud of us. We want our friends to support us. We want people to say good things about us. There is nothing wrong with that. It is a normal human feeling. But there is one problem. No matter how kind you are, no matter how hard you work, and no matter how good your intentions are, someone will always judge you. That is simply a part of life. The sooner you accept this truth, the more peaceful your life will become. Think about your own life. Maybe someone laughed at your English when you were trying to learn. Maybe a teacher said you were not good enough. Maybe a friend did not believe in your dream. Maybe a family member compared you with someone else. Those words probably hurt. You may still remember them today. It is amazing how one sentence can stay in our minds for years. But here's the important question. Should those words decide who you become? The answer is no. Many people stop chasing their dreams because they are afraid of criticism. They never start a business because someone might laugh at them. They never speak English because they fear making mistakes. They never share their ideas because they worry about what people will think. In the end, they become prisoners of other people's opinions. They are not living their own lives. They are living according to someone else's expectations. Imagine a small child learning to walk. The child falls again and again. But does the child stop trying because someone is watching? Of course not. The child stands up and tries again. That is how learning works. Every skill begins with mistakes. The same is true when you learn English, start a new job, or follow a big dream. If you wait until nobody criticizes you, you will wait forever. There is something very important you should ask yourself whenever someone criticizes you. Ask this simple question. Is there any truth in what they are saying? This question can change your life. Sometimes criticism is painful because it is true. Maybe you really need to improve. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe there is something you can learn. If that is the case, do not become angry. Become grateful. Honest feedback can help you grow faster than praise. But what if the criticism is unfair? What if someone judges you without knowing your story? What if they only want to hurt you? Then ask yourself another question. Can I learn anything from this? If the answer is no, let it go. Not every opinion deserves a place in your heart. Some words are only noise. If you carry every negative comment with you, your mind will become too heavy to move forward. Think of your mind like a beautiful garden. Every thought is like a seed. If you plant seeds of confidence, kindness, and hope, your garden will grow with beautiful flowers. But if you allow every negative opinion to enter your mind, it is like filling your garden with weeds. Slowly, those weeds begin to take over. That is why you must be careful about which words you allow to stay in your heart. You cannot stop people from speaking, but you can choose what you believe. Look at the lives of successful people. Every great leader, every famous athlete, every talented artist, and every successful entrepreneur has been criticized. Some people doubted them, some people laughed at them, some people said they would fail. Imagine if they had believed every negative word. Imagine if they had quit because someone did not support them. The world would have lost many amazing people. Success does not come from avoiding criticism. Success comes from continuing even when criticism is loud. Sometimes the people who criticize you the most are the ones who are afraid to chase their own dreams. Watching someone else grow reminds them of the chances they never took. Instead of improving themselves, they try to make others feel small. This is not always true, but it happens more often than you think. Their words say more about their own fears than about your future. One of the greatest skills you can develop is learning the difference between advice and negativity. Advice helps you become better. Negativity only tries to make you feel worse. Advice is honest but respectful. Negativity is often cruel and disrespectful. Learn to welcome advice and ignore useless negativity. This simple habit will save you from endless stress. There will also be times when you criticize yourself more than anyone else. Sometimes your own voice becomes your biggest enemy. You tell yourself that you are not smart enough. You think you are too late. You believe you will never improve. Those thoughts can be even more dangerous than other people's opinions. So whenever you catch yourself speaking negatively about yourself, stop for a moment. Ask yourself if you would speak that way to someone you love. Probably not. Then why speak that way to yourself? Be patient with yourself. Growth takes time. Remember that every expert was once a beginner. Every confident speaker once struggled to say simple sentences. Every successful person once felt nervous and unsure. They did not become successful because they never faced criticism. They became successful because they refused to let criticism stop them. Imagine climbing a mountain. As you climb higher, the wind becomes stronger. Does that mean you should climb back down? No. It simply means you're getting closer to the top. In life, criticism often becomes louder as you move closer to your goals. Do not let that scare you. Let it remind you that you are moving forward while others are standing still. The next time someone judges you, take a deep breath before reacting. Listen carefully. Learn what is useful. Leave behind what is useless. Then continue your journey. Your future is too important to be controlled by temporary opinions. The people who matter will respect your growth. The people who do not respect it were never meant to guide your life in the first place. As we come to the end of this lesson, remember one powerful truth. Other people may judge your journey, but they do not live your life. They do not know your struggles. They do not know your dreams. They do not know the battles you fight every day. Only you know your full story. So keep improving, keep learning, keep believing in yourself even when others do not. In the next lesson, we are going to discover the biggest mindset shift of all. It is a simple change in the way you think, but once you truly understand it, you will stop wasting energy trying to control things that were never under your control. That lesson can bring a level of peace and freedom that many people spend their whole lives searching for. Lesson 7. The mindset shift that changes everything. Until now, we have talked about emotions, silence, toxic people, daily habits, and criticism. All these lessons are important, but there is one final mindset that connects everything together. Without this mindset, it is easy to fall back into old habits. With this mindset, staying calm becomes much easier. It is a simple idea, but it has the power to change the way you see your whole life. The idea is this: stop trying to control everything that is outside you and start focusing on what is inside you. Think about how much time people spend trying to change others. They want everyone to understand them. They want everyone to agree with them. They want everyone to like them. They want everyone to behave the way they expect. But does life really work like that? No. Every person has different thoughts, different experiences, and different beliefs. You cannot control another person's mind. You cannot force someone to respect you. You cannot make everyone speak kindly. The harder you try to control other people, the more frustrated you become. Imagine standing in the middle of a heavy rainstorm. You become angry because it is raining. You shout at the sky. You complain about the weather. You wish the rain would stop. But no matter how loudly you complain, the rain continues. Now imagine another person standing beside you. Instead of complaining, they open an umbrella and continue walking. Both people face the same rain. The difference was not the weather. The difference was their response. Life is very similar. Many situations are outside your control. Your response is always your choice. One of the biggest reasons people suffer is because they keep fighting reality. They keep saying, "This should not have happened." They keep thinking about the past. They keep wishing people were different. They keep hoping life will always be fair. But life does not always follow our plans. Sometimes good people face difficult times. Sometimes hard work takes longer to show results. Sometimes people disappoint us. Accepting this truth does not mean giving up. It means stopping the fight against things you cannot change. Acceptance is one of the greatest forms of strength. Many people think acceptance means weakness. They think it means allowing bad things to happen. But that is not what it means at all. Acceptance simply means seeing reality clearly. Once you accept reality, you can make better decisions. Imagine your car gets a flat tire. You can spend an hour becoming angry about it, or you can accept the situation and change the tire. The problem is solved much faster when you stop fighting reality and start dealing with it. There is another truth that can bring you peace. You are not responsible for everyone's opinion of you. Some people will misunderstand your kindness. Some people will judge your silence. Some people will never see your true heart. That is painful, but it is also normal. If you spend your whole life trying to correct every misunderstanding, you will never have time to build the life you dream about. The happiest people are not the ones who have perfect lives. They are the ones who know where to focus their energy. They focus on their health. They focus on their family. They focus on learning new skills. They focus on becoming better than they were yesterday. They do not waste every day worrying about things they cannot control. That is why they seem peaceful even when life becomes difficult. Imagine carrying two bags. One bag is filled with things you can control. Your attitude, your actions, your habits, your words, and your choices are inside that bag. The other bag is filled with things you cannot control. Other people's opinions, the past, unexpected problems, and the behavior of strangers are inside that bag. Which bag should you carry? The answer is obvious. Yet many people spend their lives carrying the second bag. They become tired because they are holding weight that was never meant for them. Every morning when you wake up, remind yourself of one simple fact. Today I cannot control everything that happens to me, but I can control how I respond. This one sentence can change your entire day. Maybe someone will be rude. Maybe your plans will change. Maybe something unexpected will happen. You cannot stop every challenge, but you can choose patience instead of panic. You can choose wisdom instead of anger. That choice belongs to you. There's also great freedom in letting go. Let go of the need to win every argument. Let go of the need to impress everyone. Let go of the need to explain yourself to people who have already decided not to understand you. The moment you stop chasing everyone's approval, you begin to discover your own confidence. You no longer depend on other people to feel valuable because you know your worth comes from within. Think about a tree during a strong storm. The wind pushes against it from every direction. But the tree does not argue with the wind. It does not become angry because the storm arrived. It stays rooted in the ground. After some time, the storm passes. Your mind should become like that tree. Life will bring storms. Difficult people will appear. Problems will come without warning. Stay rooted in your values. Stay rooted in your peace. The storm will not last forever. As you continue growing, you will notice something amazing. The things that once upset you will slowly lose their power. Comments that once ruined your day will become easy to ignore. Small problems that once filled you with stress will become simple challenges to solve. This is not because life became easier. It is because you became stronger. Your mindset changed, and that changed everything else. Always remember that your peace is one of the most valuable things you own. Protect it carefully. Do not hand it over to every stranger, every negative comment, or every difficult situation. The world will always have noise, but your mind does not have to become noisy too. A peaceful mind makes better decisions. A peaceful mind builds stronger relationships. A peaceful mind creates a happier life. You have already come so far in this journey. You have learned how to understand your emotions, why silence is powerful, how to deal with toxic people, how to build daily habits, and how to face criticism with confidence. Now you have learned the mindset that ties all these lessons together. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. In the final lesson, we will bring everything together. You will see how all these ideas create one powerful way of living. More importantly, you will discover why the power of not reacting is not just a skill for difficult moments. It is a lifestyle that can help you become calmer, wiser, stronger, and happier every single day of your life. Lesson 8. The ultimate power of not reacting. We have reached the final lesson of this journey. If you have stayed with me until now, I want you to take a moment and think about everything we have learned together. At the beginning of this video, we talked about how easy it is to react. We learned that our emotions can control us if we are not careful. We learned that silence is often stronger than arguing. We learned how toxic people try to get our attention. We discovered simple daily habits that build emotional strength. We also learned how to face criticism without losing our confidence. Finally, we understood that real peace begins when we stop trying to control things that are outside our control. Now it is time to bring all these lessons together into one simple truth. The power of not reacting can completely change your life. Let me ask you one question. Who is the strongest person in the room? Is it the person who shouts the loudest? Is it the person who always wins every argument? Is it the person who always has the last word? Many people think the answer is yes, But real life teaches us something different. The strongest person is often the calmest person. It is the person who stays peaceful when everyone else is angry. It is the person who thinks before speaking. It is the person who refuses to let emotions control their decisions. That kind of strength cannot be bought. It cannot be borrowed. It is built one day at a time. Imagine waking up every morning without carrying yesterday's anger. Imagine going to work or school without worrying about what everyone thinks about you. Imagine hearing criticism without feeling broken. Imagine meeting difficult people without allowing them to steal your happiness. This is not a dream. This is what happens when you practice the power of not reacting. Life does not suddenly become perfect. Problems still come, people still disappoint you, challenges still appear. But something important changes. You change. And when you change, the way you experience life also changes. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be people who doubt your abilities. Some people may even hope that you fail. Do not let those voices become louder than your own. Every successful person has faced doubt. Every successful person has heard negative opinions. The difference is that they did not stop moving forward. They stayed focused on their goals instead of getting distracted by every comment around them. Remember that not reacting does not mean becoming weak. It does not mean staying silent when someone is hurting you. It does not mean accepting disrespect. There are moments when you should speak. There are moments when you should protect yourself. There are moments when you should walk away from unhealthy people. The real lesson is this: let wisdom decide your actions, not anger. Let patience guide your words, not pride. When your mind is calm, your decisions become better. Think about how many opportunities people lose because of one emotional moment. Some lose friendships because they spoke without thinking. Some lose jobs because they could not control their anger. Some lose their confidence because they believed one negative opinion. A few seconds of emotion can create years of regret. But a few seconds of patience can create a lifetime of peace. That is why emotional control is one of the greatest investments you can make in yourself. Life is much bigger than one argument. It is much bigger than one rude comment. It is much bigger than one bad day. Do not allow small moments to decide your future. Every morning gives you another chance to become a better person. Every challenge gives you another chance to practice patience. Every difficult conversation gives you another chance to choose wisdom instead of emotion. Growth happens in these small moments. They may not look important at first, but over time they shape the person you become. I want you to remember one picture in your mind. Imagine standing on top of a mountain. Around you there is wind, there is rain, there are dark clouds, but the mountain does not move. It stays strong because its foundation is deep. Your mind should become like that mountain. Let people have their opinions. Let life bring its challenges. Stay strong in your values. Stay calm in your heart. Storms always pass, but your character stays with you forever. Do not compare your journey with anyone else. Some people may learn this lesson quickly. Others may need more time. That is perfectly fine. Your only job is to become a little better than you were yesterday. If today you paused before reacting even once, that is progress. If today you forgave someone instead of holding on to anger, that is progress. If today you protected your peace instead of joining an unnecessary argument, that is progress. Small improvements every day create a completely different life over time. Never forget that peace is not something you find, it is something you create. You create it through your choices. You create it through your habits. You create it through the way you think. Every time you choose patience, you build peace. Every time you choose kindness, you build peace. Every time you refuse to let anger control you, you build peace. Slowly, your mind becomes stronger. Your heart becomes lighter. Your life becomes happier. One day, someone will try to make you angry. Someone will criticize you. Someone will doubt you. Someone will try to pull you into an argument. When that moment comes, I hope you remember this video. I hope you remember that your reaction is your choice. Nobody can force you to lose your peace unless you give them permission. Your calmness is your power. Your patience is your strength. Your self-control is your freedom. As this journey comes to an end, I want to leave you with one final thought. People will remember many things about you. They may remember your words, they may remember your success, but they will also remember the way you made them feel. A calm person brings comfort. A wise person brings hope. A patient person brings trust. Become that kind of person. The world already has enough anger. It needs more people who can stay calm, think clearly, and choose kindness even in difficult moments. The power of not reacting is not about winning against other people. It is about winning against the part of yourself that wants to answer every insult, fight every battle, and prove something to everyone. Once you master that, nobody can easily control your emotions again. That is real confidence. That is real freedom. That is real strength. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I truly hope these lessons stay with you long after this video ends. Remember, every single day gives you a new chance to choose peace over anger, wisdom over impulse, and growth over pride. Keep practicing, keep learning, keep believing in yourself. The strongest version of you is not the loudest one, it is the calmest one. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another lesson on personal growth and English learning. Now I want to hear from you. Comment below, what is one situation where you wish you had stayed calm instead of reacting? Your story may encourage someone else who is reading the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.